If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Welcome camera 1 and welcome camera 2 to my live streams. I'm very happy to be here. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. I'm very happy to be here this wonderful evening. It is 6th of June 2026, and I'm very happy to welcome you to our streams. And for those who are asking me where I was not available because I had a very, very bad cold, and I said that, the cold, it's June, so you cannot, the weather is bad, it's very cold in the month of June. That is why I decided not to show up, yesterday because, I had a very, very bad cold. But nonetheless, I decided, okay, fine, I'll show up eventually for proof of life, because I wouldn't want people to speculate. Welcome to both of my channels. And I wouldn't want people to start wondering where I was and what happened to me. So without further ado, I want to welcome you all to our streams today. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. So today, I want you guys to understand me that I have a very, very bad cold. That is why I'm really, I'm really conscious about, what I'm wearing. Any questions up to that? Feel free to subscribe and comment and tell me where you're watching me from. And if you have not do not subscribe, welcome camera 2 to my channel. Welcome. I'm very happy this wonderful evening. And I was just explaining to my to my subscribers that I didn't show up because I had a very, very bad cold. You can have a very bad cold. And today I won't stay for much. I just want to say one of two things that I felt maybe I would say for the sake of, if you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. So I said that today I will just show up and say hello. I don't want to overstay. Just want to say hello to my subscribers, and and I hope that you're doing okay. So I know, I said, that issue. I wanted to talk about this man in Nairobi who was caught with a lot of money in his house. He's a chief officer of urban planning in Nairobi. He was caught with a lot of money in his house. And I know that's a very, very interesting topic. I would really want to go there, but I have a very bad cold. I really want to talk about that issue, how a man can be, having a lot of money in his house. I will talk about that. Don't worry. I know so many people have itching ears. I know your ears are itching to know my opinion about such an issue. How can a man have a lot of money, until he does not know what to do with the money? Until he's caught with the money. Oh my good Lord. So we'll talk about that. Don't worry. And, tell me where you're watching me from. Kenya is funny. At least this is the only country where people, I don't know what's wrong with Kenyans, but it seems that this man called Patrick Analo. Mm, that is the guy I want to talk about tonight. But I won't talk about him for long. You know, he was caught with a lot of money, in suitcases, 250 million shillings in cash. Yeah, yeah. Even me, I thought it was unbelievable. But one thing that I asked a few people around, they said, you know what? I called a friend of mine and we were talking, and I said, I would really want to share our conversation about that particular issue. Like a man being caught with a lot of money, he was caught with how much in cash? Close to 50 million shillings in cash. And in dollars, that is $103,000 in cash, in his suitcases. And he had this poster in his sitting room written, "God did it." And that was the funniest part. I think that is the funniest part. You steal a lot of money from Kenyans, and then you tell them Manzeni God. You know, you steal a lot of money from people, and then you say Manzeni God. I think we are abusing that saying, Manzeni God. And this man had this wonderful, inscriptions, and he put it there. God did it. Wow! I was like, wow, God did that. And I started wondering. Then I did. So I called this friend of mine, and we were talking, and he told me, you see, that money that he was caught with was after he had distributed his loot, after he had done everything, you know, after he had distributed everything, after he has done everything, he was caught with 50 million. After he has bribed everybody, after he has taken his loot elsewhere, he just was caught with 50 million. That's why when you see those videos, he was very calm. He was very calm, like, you know, nothing has really happened. And that tells you that has really opened a Pandora's box in Nairobi politics. And I'll just talk about that before I go to sleep, because I think I need to share my opinion. So that tells you a lot about what goes on in Kenya. Like, Kenyans are even wondering, you know, what is happening, because mostly in, mostly in Nairobi, and they're wondering, how can this man have a lot of money in a suitcase? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment, and tell me where you're watching me from. That's a very good story. That is part of illicit enrichment. And whenever people wanted to develop in Nairobi, they first had to visit him, and he would ask, of course, for maybe 5 million, 6 million, 10 million, and so whenever, one of the things that I was asking myself, was, okay, who told these officers that this guy had money? Of course, that was also another question that cropped up. Like, how many? Who told the DCI officers that this guy had money in his house? That's a very, very interesting story that we'll talk about. And so I started asking myself, if the small fish are caught with 63 million. That is the small fish. What about the big fish? You know, if 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 a small fish is caught with 60 million or 70 million, and what about the big fish? That is a question that really exposed the kind of corruption that is, and that was not all. They discovered a lot of things this man had stashed in his house. This man had title deeds. He had logbooks. He had a lot of things, a lot of valuables, a lot of precious stones. He had gemstones. He had a lot of things. The only thing he didn't have was gold, and he had land and vehicle sale agreement, a lot of things. You know, any questions up to there? So this kind of corruption has exposed not corruption. What is happening is not rampant corruption. What is happening is corruption on an industrial scale. There's an industry of making money. It's an entire industry, like collection of money. That is an entire industry where there's no end of it. And ladies and gentlemen, and I was just explaining this to a friend of mine today, before I came. I was saying that the thing is, this man, even if you arrest him, I see that he was released on a 500,000 bond. But I started wondering, if this man has been handling that kind of money from, I don't know, the beginning of time, even if you arrest him now and impound the 60 million shillings, this man has already, established the pipeline of getting the money. Even if you sack him from from the Nairobi City Council, or if you sack him from the county government, already this man has developed a pipeline of getting the money. Are we together? Or he knows at least one or two ways to get the money. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to explain to you something very interesting that these guys are overlooking. Whether they like it or not, ladies and gentlemen, this man was generating a lot of money every month through, kickbacks. He had developed a system of kickbacks. He had developed a system of bribery. He had developed that system, all right, of how to meet would-be investors. What will happen, ladies and gentlemen, is that this man will still come back again, but this time round using a proxy. So these new officials that will be brought in the urban planning, you can see that this man will continue working with them and amassing a lot of money. So whether they sack him from the county government, this man has already established a pipeline of getting the money. If or see you see they couldn't even lock him for one day. They just released him on a bond of 500,000. What does that tell you? It tells you that this person is a person of interest. Is a person of interest. Is a person who can tell you, he can map the entire city and show you where the money is. Any questions up to there? Feel free to subscribe and comment. And if you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment and tell me where you're watching me from. So you can imagine that this man, and I want to just explain about something that people need to know. is that he has already established an underground system of collecting the cash. If after distributing his loot, he remains with 50 million, it means that his loot is close to 600 to 700 million because he's bribing everybody. So that is why I'm saying, fighting this man, this man is not alone. That is why it's a very difficult case. This man is not alone. This is a whole system. If you look at it from that angle, you realize that this is a system of people who are number one. It's an underground system of cash where they know that this money is collected by so and so and it is distributed in a particular manner. So if even if they impound the 60 million that was found in his house, this man already, that's why you see he was not scared. He was not scared, or he was not, he didn't have pressure. Did you notice how his demeanor? He didn't have pressure because he knows even if they take the 60 million, I have a way, I have the way. I know how to get even more. So you can imagine that's what I'm trying to explain to people tonight before I go to sleep. Now you see, now everybody in Nairobi or everybody in Kenya knows that this guy has can organize for quick cash. So believe you me, people will start looking for that man and ask him, like show us the how, the blueprint, give us the blueprint on how you were making the money, and of course, they will all try to court him, and he will get more cash. Are we together? Because you see, that is a system that he created. Even in terms of corruption, in terms of bribery, in terms of extortion, in terms of all these things, all these underground deals, it's a system. So when you arrest one person, when you say we are arresting this man to show Kenyans in court that we are working overnight, there are so many other guys. Now you have really the other guys who also have the cash. The other guys who have the cash will go and hide the money. Or you see somebody buying, things that, there'll be a lot of sales going on. People will start buying matatus. Somebody bought 10 matatus. You should wonder, you bought 10 matatus, and those 10 matatus, they were all worth 8 million each. That is 8 million shillings. So so because they know that, oh, these guys will come, so let's register the matatus with a SACCO, and the matatus got into the road. So by the time these guys came, already there was something that was moving. Are we together? So you can see that now, what these people who have collected the money will now develop another system of what? Of hiding the money and actually going around. So corruption is an animal you cannot kill. I came to realize, as much as we have, and I'm not saying in a bad way, but corruption will always come back in a different form. It will always, metamorphosize. Is that the right word? It will always come in a different form. Whatever that these people were doing, they have now realized that urban planning is a lucrative department in the county government. So everybody will be looking towards that end. Other than also, there's so many. Nairobi has a lot of money. Like if you look at the Ministry of Trade and Measures, you can realize that is also a very lucrative ministry. These people issue licenses, so you can imagine how much money is being transacted in a day. That's why you see, it's not surprising that a governor can have a lot of money in a day. in kickbacks, in bribes and stuff like that. These guys also have proxies who bring in the cash. All right. So that is why in 2027, the fight or the race of Nairobi will be very different, because now people will come to look for that particular political seat with prior knowledge. Not just a political office, but people know that if we get there, we're going to get a lot of money. And it's even crazy, so many things that are really happening that show, there's a lot of things like happening anyway. Any questions? Any questions up to that? Feel free to be part and parcel. So, like right now in Nairobi, if you see somebody is in county government, these people pocket not the salary, but in other things they pocket a lot of money. They have a lot of cash in their house. 500 million to them is not an issue. Any questions up to there? Feel free to subscribe and comment and tell me where you are watching me from. As I told you guys, I have a very, very bad cold. Yeah, I have a very, very bad cold. Very bad. In fact, I will not stay here for long, but I really appreciated your time. Any questions before I leave? I'll not be staying because I don't want the cold to continue. My nose is congested. Any questions up to there? Any questions up to there? So you can see, as I was saying, that fighting corruption.
Work today is broken.
Any questions up to there? And if you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Any question? Any questions up to there? I need to go. You can ask me your questions before I leave. Any questions? Any questions before I leave? Any questions? Any questions before I leave? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment and tell me where you're watching me from. Any questions? I need to leave. As I said yesterday, I have a very, very bad cold. I need to go and any questions? Any questions after there? Any questions? Any questions? You can ask me your questions before I leave. I'm also very sleepy. Ask me your questions before I leave. You can ask me your questions before I go. Any questions up to there? Guys. Mhm. Any questions up to there? Do you enjoy our streams? Mhm. Mhm. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and tell me where you're watching me from. You can ask me your questions before I leave. Aha. So I was saying that in Kenya things are funny, and it is so funny that a few people, just a few people, can fund politics. Just a few. Just a few. Any questions up to there? Any questions? Do you have any questions? If you have any questions, I need to leave. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me your questions before I leave. So we'll continue reading tomorrow. I will continue reading tomorrow. Continue reading tomorrow the scripture. We'll continue reading tomorrow. I'm very sleepy. I'm very I have a very bad cold today. Any questions? Guys. Can ask me your questions before I leave. Yes. What? How many people want you said you people want Ebola? How many people still want Ebola? I know you guys really want free money. Kenyans and money. Ebola. Any questions? Well, so I was even wondering, this man who had this kind of money, you mean, he had a lot of money until he became mad. I heard that he solved, if whenever you had a problem, you just solve your problem. It's okay. I'll give you the money. Money is good, eh? Money is good. Money is good. Any questions? So whoever tells you money is not good, money is good. Because you see, this man, he can hire the best lawyers in Nairobi, In fact, right now, all the best lawyers in Nairobi are begging him to represent him. Well, anyway, so funny. But you see, the part that they are missing, let me tell you the part that they are missing before I go. You see, this man called Patrick Analo developed a system of getting the money. So even if you throw him in Sahara Desert or you throw him in a forest, as long as he's in Nairobi, that person is in the money. As long as he's in Nairobi, whether he's in government or is not in government, as long as he's the one who designed that system of getting the money. He's the one who designed the system. you know he knows after A it is B, after B it's C, after C it's D. Even if he goes to jail for 10 years and comes out after 10 years, he still knows, after this we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and this is how we're going to make the money. So that's the most craziest part. So the question people are asking is Sakaja in this uh, in this system? Because they're saying, oh, there's no evidence to pin Sakaja, but clearly that money went to, of course, Sakaja was involved in the money. So when you say that Sakaja was not involved, that's a fat lie. When you say Sakaja was not involved in that, was not involved. That's why this guy called Mosoria, he had to be, he was a nuisance. And, the system is very sad, because a very sad system, because if in a system where people are eating money, in a system where people are fleecing others, in a system where it is exploitative in nature, if you're a good man, they will have to push you out, because you will, you will spoil the show. You will spoil the party. Okay. So if you're a good man, they throw you out. If you're going to, spill the beans, they throw you out. So this is like a brotherhood of some sort, of how just a few individuals control the entire, the money. It's like a brotherhood, with the, it's just like a underground system where they know, they're the ones who know what's happening. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. Any questions? Okay. I need to go. Any questions? Yeah, any questions up to there? Because I came to realize that there's a system where if that those who are close to power, when you look at all these guys who are close to the presidency, all of them have helicopters. All of them, all of them. Name them. Name any Kalenjin. Like, name them. Starting with Murkomen, starting with all these guys. They have helicopters, all of them. Somebody wearing a watch of 20 million. And that is the truth if you do your research. So it means that there's a way. Any questions up to there? I need to go. So tomorrow we'll meet same time, same place. Any questions up to there? We'll continue reading tomorrow. Any questions? Any questions before I leave? I have a very, very bad cold and I need to go and sleep. My head is really burning. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions up to there? I need to go. Any questions? Do you have any questions before I leave? Do you have any questions before I leave? All right. Arrivederci, arrivederci. All right. All right. All right. Wow. Hmm. Uh-huh. Okay. Mm-hmm. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Okay, guys. Wait. Wait. Okay, let's. I was told that these oranges will remove my cold. Mm-hmm. All right. Tomorrow, guys.